Ща пойдет
Welcome to Mario
гоночка.
Kart 64. My name is Brody. I am currently world ranked 9th overall in shortcut time trials, and this is Weatherton, the godfather of Mario Kart 64 tasks for the last 20 years.
And
Да, на
we're all very
комментах.
fortunate to have Kazuya
Чел,
Kazen
который
here,
20
running
лет
as world record holder this year. Not
в Марио
currently, but I
играл.
don't doubt he'll take it back. He unseated Abney after 7 years. Go check out the Summoning Salt video of the quest to beat Abney, and that was Kazuya. We also have some great folks on the
Чел еще попадал
and
в Summoning
and
Salt.
then my family is here. Excited to have them here. It's always excited to be on AGDQ.
Короче, элита Марио
Really
Карта
excited to hit
здесь.
that $1.5 million mark during this run. And Kazen, we'll give you the countdown here when you're ready. All right. He's gonna pick his character. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Обратный
go!
отсчет и
So what we see is the
поехали.
first track of Luigi Raceway, known as Luigi Circuit on the Japanese version of the game. Kazuya is playing as Peach because Peach, Yoshi, and Toad are the fastest characters in the game, so they're the most optimal to use for Skip's runs. Now, Toad is a little bit lighter than the other two, so you'll get bunked around a little bit more.
Which is, it can be desirable if you're trying to jump off computers.
Так, у нас
Fast,
первая
not so much
трасса.
for RTA.
So Kazuya's got red shells, which means he can do this shortcut you can only do on the Japanese version of the game, which you will launch over this wall, and on the Japanese version only, that this wall
Некоторые
behind
скипы
Luigi Raceway finish
делают только
line
в
is
японской
solid.
версии.
On the US version and PAL versions, you will just fall right through. But on the Japanese version, you will get picked up on top, and as long as you do the little twirl around the line he did at the beginning, it will work for a very fast 3-lap.
Yeah, so on the US and PAL versions, you would still fall down into the tunnel and cut half the course. But in this, Lakitu's getting confused about where to put you down. You had to wait for those computer players to get by him because you don't want that red shell to hit them.
And he's made 3 for 3.
Awesome. Great start to the run.
Can use the star there to get a little bit more speed, and that is
Under a
a
minute.
very good Luigi Raceway with
Great
that red
job.
shells.
All right, so as already mentioned by Brody, we're playing the Japanese version. It's not because Kazuya wants to have the Japanese version and can read it better than us. It's because there's actual game differences in terms of Lakitu logic.
And we're going to see that later in the run as well.
Напоминаю, что в японской играет сейчас в японскую версию из-за разницы геймплейных особенностей.
It has one element, though, that really throws a lot of people off, and that's on the inside of the track in 3 certain points. There are these mole patches that are completely random. They will jump out at you no matter what you do, and they're a real pain in time trials. But in Grand Prix, for these runs, you are able to take this path that Kazuya's taking right now to go through the moles. That's very low risk, and you won't really have to deal with them. If you get a star or a boo, you can easily plow right through them, though, and take the lead from anyone else who might be ahead of you.
So on a course with no viable RTA shortcuts, probably a good time to mention.
Но на свече установлены Марио Карты и Fire Emblem.
So none of the shortcuts that
У меня вообще есть веселая история, как я случайно, короче, гупанул карик с Марио Картом у однокурсника, когда я еще в колледже учился. Мы что-то играми махнулись, я уже не помню, что на что. Возможно, Street Fighter на Mario Kart. И, короче, я не помню, уточнить. Короче, смысл в том, что Mario Kart Steam, по-моему, у меня остался.
And the next track we have coming up is Kubatura Beach, which also doesn't have a big shortcut. It does have a shortcut where you can go on a ramp through the cave, but we don't consider that shortcut in the community because it was intended. We just count that as non-shortcut. So while we do have some very weird 2-player shortcut you can do here, the only viable thing here...
Сейчас будет довольно странный скип.
На
все, что будет происходить на экране, это будет предполагаться. Если не будет из разряда never happened before.
We'll see if that happens. Hopefully, if the ramp mishappens, that's the exciting thing you can wait for here. But he made that one smooth.
Makes the first one cleanly.
Yeah,
so как ты вернешь?
Time to talk about item probabilities here. So in this game,
Нет, там уже
the
пофиг.
items you get are all based on what
Не веришь,
place
что
you're
это
in.
ты.
So you can see what place you're in on the screen. Note that lags a little bit.
С одной стороны, это было
What's actually
выгодное
happening in the
предложение,
game. In
потому что
fact, you
чуваку,
might see an
по-моему,
item glitch
Street
here like
Fighter
this. We'll
досталось.
see. There's an
Или
opportunity
нет.
to make the game think you're
Надо
in 8th place and getting an
на
8th
что я
place
тогда
item.
So that's why
менялся.
you're going to see Kazuya drive up to the right side of the finish line. There's a little part you can go in and hit the
Another
items
good jump there.
beforehand.
Yeah, so
And
let's see if he goes over to the ramp here. Yeah, he's going wide. Why would he go out here? The item block here, he can manipulate it to go.
now he's got an 8th place item.
Right.
Unfortunately, it was not a speed item. You're looking for stars or golden mushroom, but it's still worth the try.
Yeah, that's completely luck. There's nothing you can do RTA to decide what item you actually get, other than just what place you're in when you get the item. So, oh, but he got a mushroom.
And
That-
he goes 3 for 3 cleanly through the tunnel. And he's got
грибочек.
at the end here, and he's going to go into the wet
Грибочек
sand
на
because
первом
the wet
месте не
sand
такая
is
уж
a bit
частая
faster
вещь.
than the dry sand.
Yeah.
And very solid creature
Good
reach
job. Yeah.
for Kazuya.
All three through the tunnel. I mean, nerves of steel on Kazan here. The fact that he was able to just continue to, I think he did tens of thousands of runs over the last several years to ultimately unseat Abney. Just tons of grit and tenacity.
1,000 away.
So coming up next is Calamari Desert. This is a very RNG heavy course. Luckily, there are a ton of different things you can do here, depending on what we get. But what we're looking
Но
for
этот
here
раз
is
вообще
triple
полная
reds and
РНГ.
a star.
Посмотрим, как
There's
его
all different
пройдут.
fallbacks depending on what he actually gets. But notice he's driving backwards. He wants to be not in first place.
So he's got a star. So this is not the most ideal, but it can still work. So we're going to go into the tunnel here. And there's actually this developer-intended Easter egg
Yeah, we
in this
know it's
game.
developer intended because there's
И
a
тут как
Shigeru Miyamoto
манипуляция с
interview where
Wii,
he talks about this
то
particular shortcut.
So we're going to go into the tunnel where Black tells us to reverse. We're going to star, and the finish line gets activated from
Да, но
inside
мы
the tunnel
скатываемся
to
на
skip a
последнее
lap,
место, чтобы
and we're
выбить самый
already
офигенный
about a third of the
паверап.
way, anyways, and we're just getting great speed with that star. So the second level, and he's got a red shell. So a red shell can be used as a backup in first place. It's only, I believe, a 5% in first place, but
Yeah,
he can
that's-
go into the tunnel again and do another sort
Мне
of
очень
spin,
нравятся
which he
здесь
would have done if he had triple red
рекламные
shells.
щиты.
Yeah, getting a single red in first is only 5% probability. There's nothing with lower probability than that. So, it's, fortunately, he got a red shell. Unfortunate that he's got to hit it the first try here.
So he's going to turn in here and go to the other side of the tunnel, which will bring us to this fence here. Now, there's actually a crazy shortcut you can do here called the fence clip.
Oh,
And
okay,
he
it's still
did
gonna
miss
be
the red there, but it's
Okay.
still going to be there, luckily. So
He
now he
goes-
just has to slowly run into it, launch over, and
Yeah.
he's at the end of the race. Just like that.
Не получился первый раз заборчатый
Yeah,
скип.
first reset. The reset on this console is a little sticky, actually. So,
Грубо говоря,
So already one cup
как
done
вот
just like that, and now we're on to the
Панцирь
final
должен
cup
был
with another Japanese difference. So the first race
стукнуться об
of the
забор,
cup was Toad's Turnpike
ранник должен был
and back in
стукнуться об
20,
этот
2020 was
панцирь
the
и
Forest
перелезть через
Shorter
забор.
Revolution. We figured out that the Japanese 1.0
Но
version of the
скип
game
получился более
works a
медленным
lot
образом.
differently on this track than the other versions, which we're going to see here.
Yeah,
So-
the only thing we knew is that the normal shortcut that we had.
We've reached 1.5 million.
That's great.
О, 1,5 ляма.
So now Kazuya drives off. Now this is what's different between this and the Japanese
И
1.0
скип
version.
хорош.
Kazuya
1,5
drove
ляма.
off to the right side, but if he can cross back over the line and get stuck out of bounds just like that, he will be a lap ahead. This only works on the Japanese 1.0 version of the game, no other versions, but this was an immense discovery when it happened, because before we were driving around a lot of this track, and
Oh,
he hits the
wow.
backup.
Oh,
He still hit the truck, but he hit the backup, so
Yeah.
he just got to hit it one more time here. And that looked good. And as long as he gets placed on the line, it's going to be a very fast course, and that's great.
So awesome hitting 1.5 million during this run. That's a fantastic thing to happen. Hope we've got a lot of folks enjoying this with Kazan putting on the greatest show here.
So coming up next is Frap Snowland, and Frap Snowland has a shortcut that has mostly remained unchanged. We've definitely made some tweaks to it in time trials, but since the beginning of this game's release, we've pretty much been doing the exact same thing here in speed runs like this, and it's something you probably know of. This is one of the most well-known shortcuts. It's just going to be executed very, very quickly by Kazuya. Top runners are able to finish this course in under 20 seconds in time trial mode.
Yeah, what's happening here? There's areas on the outside of the prior course and this course that they're not actually defined in terms of what section you're entering. We call it an FF section. So that really messes with the game logic.
And that was a great FS.
И тут довольно много
Yeah, okay.
таких скипов
Yeah.
на
Great
том,
job,
что тебя вот это облачко подбирает и
Yeah,
буквально
those
тебя
FF
проносит через все
sections
чекпоинты.
Actually, we weren't sure how they worked quite a while ago. And then Micro 500 really dug into the game and figured out what's going on there. and made a nice Twitch VOD on that ultimately Forrest found and was inspired to come up with a lot of the new shortcuts that we've now got.
So now we're going to Choco Mountain. This is the course, of course, of the famous Weather Tanko, discovered in part by Weatherton right next to me.
Hey.
And this track can be a bit frustrating in times because of these jumps here.
Oh,
and that was a great,
yeah.
smooth jump. And sometimes, though, you go more of the distance in a frame, in a single frame, and you will tumble, and there's nothing you can do about it. So there's a little bit of luck involved in this.
Yeah,
but
there's like we call them zero frame jumps. So there's times where you nailed that R button press, but just the synchronization of when the frame arrived that you hit the wall, you still just don't have a chance. Oh,
and the banana is just an unfortunate placed banana there. Nothing you can do. But there's a backup here going against this great
Жалко,
wall.
что выпадают только бананы, потому что с бананами ты особо ничего прикольного не сделаешь. И сейчас довольно был сложный скип, где ты перелезаешь через стену.
And he's got a clear path ahead of him. Doesn't really have to watch out for anything else, just hopes to get that jump cleanly. As Kazuya refers to it, he refers to it as Choco's Stupid Mountain due to the tumbles and RNG here. And
you're either in love with the Choco or you're not in love with the Choco.
As VAJ would say, I'm in love with the Choco.
Ай, ранее обидно не залезать с первого раза. Таким вот незатейливым способом завершили Choco Mountain.
That's why it's very important to learn that backup with the Great Wall. The Great Wall jump actually gets progressively easier the further you go down it. So he was doing it pretty aggressively at the beginning, but if you go all the way down towards the water, then the Great Wall jump tends to be a lot easier.
Oh, pro tip too, if you're stopped in this game, you want to start going faster, hit A 3 times, triple tap A, and you'll rev your engine up. So he was doing that to speed up.
So right here we're looking for triple reds, and he got triple reds, so
okay.
Now he's going to use the triple reds. He's going to target himself here and launch over the wall. Oh, and he went a little bit short there.
All right.
Ну, зашли в ВВ. Да, скипы просто имба.
But the red shell is trying to go back to the center of the course. There's the center line on the course, and it wants to go to that center line and then seek the next closest player.
Буквально с этого выхода в ВВ мы обходим все чекпоинты.
Unfortunately, since he did miss the first one, he has to drive around. But whenever you're that far ahead, you know.
Ну, насчет современных игр я бы очень сильно поспорил. Потому что quality QA, короче, quality assist, по-моему, не такой уж хороший.
That's the end of the Flower Cup.
All right, great job. All right, halfway through.
So now we're on to the Star Cup on the Wario Stadium, and this is a shortcut that probably a lot of you know. It's actually in the manual of Mario Kart 64. The developers must have caught it and didn't figure it out.
Or the player's guide?
I believe it's in the manual.
Man, all right, I'm gonna have to check that out.
And a lot of you are probably familiar with this short wall. It's very easy to jump over that, but you can actually get over on this side.
Да, следующий раз, который тоже, по-моему, скипается буквально в ОБ, то есть вокруг стартовых ворот болтаться будем.
Back up, triple tap, hit R.
And he's got it there. There's the first lap. And we actually figured out this thing to do that was known a while back, but wasn't really perfected until Weatherton and Forrest did a couple years ago, known as the delayed hover, where if you go over the final hump, and that was clean.
Oh, wow.
Great
Those
job.
last two were so good.
So the delayed hover here works as if you go over the final hump here on Wario Stadium, we can actually get an activation from the other side of the line, shroom over, and make it over the wall. And in time trials, the world record is less than a second for a lap by doing that delayed hover method.
It's another one of those undefined polygons. Same here too. I don't think he'll go for the shortcut here, but
so interestingly enough with Sherbetland is this course did not have a shortcut for the longest time until Forrest again and Weatherton in 2020 decided to work on it. Originally, what was found was just the cave skip, which only allowed you to skip the cave, which only saved a couple of seconds. But as time went on, Weatherton started to work.
О, ледяная трасса. Как раз таки можете заметить разницу, если кто смотрел Mario Kart Wii.
So it's not worth going for in Grand Prix mode unless you're just screwing around or you're very much behind. So we're going to see this course non-shortcut, although if you're curious to see what the shortcut looks like, the 3-lap record on mkwrs.com and the flag record are very, very good pieces of history from what we found in 2020.
Shout outs to that website for all the Mario Kart games. They've got rich history of all the different times and records and videos.
Shout out to Cole for maintaining that site for all these years. He's put up with a lot, so.
And then MarioKart64.com. That's if you want to go race this in time trials.
Не, ну я не думал, кстати, что современные Mario Kart плохие.
On the Mario Kart 64 ranks, there's Mario Kart Wii, there's Double Dash, it's all there. Take a look.
And so far, he's had a very clean SO. Nothing too exciting here. And you'll notice here he's doing these things called crack jumps, which you can't be too aggressive on, but you can save a significant amount each corner by taking those cracks. But you don't want to go too aggressively. We see a lot of people that will fail runs for that, especially in time trials.
Because if you fall in on a speed run, you actually turn to ice, and it adds a couple extra seconds of loss. Funny thing is that was required for the shortcut to work. Since we're not doing the shortcut, we won't go too far into it. But
and with the swag finish.
Swag end.
So coming up next track is Royal Raceway, which this one plagues Skip's runners with how inconsistent. It seems like for whatever reason, triple red shells are a 20% chance when you are in anything but first place. I believe so. Either that or it's 4th through 8th. But
well, this one was one of the first applications of what Micro 500 was describing with the undefined sections. Forrest came along and he's like, wait, I could use red shells to jump on top of this wall.
But for whatever, a little mistake, but it's okay because he's got plenty of time. But it seems like for whatever reason, when runners play this track, red shells just don't seem to come in. It's a 1 in 5 chance to pull a red shell in the position that he's in, but it just seems like you could go through hundreds of items without pulling a red shell.
Ну, здесь тоже вокруг стартовых ворот.
And the golden, so the golden is very unfortunate. The pull, you have to wait 10 seconds for that to run out.
Мы выбили золотой гриб. Золотой гриб действует автоматически. Во время этого мы не можем подбирать коробки с пауэрапом. Еще один анлак, еще один золотой гриб. Ну, наконец-то у нас 3 прекрасных панциря для скипов.
And just barely misses that red shell there. It's not easy to do. More. It's similar to the Mario Raceway where he's kind of got to wait for some folks to go by. I guess that happened on Luigi Raceway. But he's got 2 more chances. He's going to have to do 1 lap.
And good one.
So that on top, they didn't bother defining the top section there. That
Ну, главное залезть на эти ворота. Облачко нас доставляет через все чекпоинты. И по сути мы так должны сделать еще 2 раза.
And he's that's very rare to happen where you ricochet off the top. So now he's going to use a star and he's going to go for the backup, which we used to do in time trials before we.
Ну, обидно сейчас произошло, что мы отрикошетили от верхушки, а это происходит очень редко. Но у нас, в принципе, есть альтернативная страта. Она гораздо будет медленнее, но все равно есть что показать.
And I assume he's just going to go pull it off again. So not as fast as the red shells, but it is
unless
definitely...
he happened to have gotten a red shell there. But yeah, so he jumping across the moat. That moat on the other side is tied to a section that's close to the ramp. And so when Lakitu's trying to put you up, and you got to see it say "poomp" there. If it says that, then it means you hit the right part of that wall. If it doesn't say that, you actually are going to put back where you landed.
So is he going to make it? He just barely makes it through there. So that's still going to work because it works anywhere in 150cc, luckily. Time trials, it's very tough to actually hit the right spot. And he's just going to cut through the grass.
I want to see a swag end. Come on.
Swag finish, and he gets the swag finish. Good recovery. Good recovery.
О, отличный финиш.
Absolutely.
We have met the incentive to upgrade to all stages for Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. Let's go!
Awesome. Yes.
У нас выполнился донатный инцентив на то, чтобы все стейджи проходить Super Mario World Lost Levels, или по-японски Mario.
Thank you for making it such a great marathon so far. Let's keep it up.
All right, so now we're on to Bowser's Castle, the final track of the Star Cup, and this also did not have a time trial shortcut for the longest time until 2021. Of course, Forrest found that you could actually clip the staircase that leads out of the castle. So I'll point that out when it comes by. It's very hard to do. Only a few people have ever hit it. That's those stairs right there. If you can use a shroom to clip through the top staircase and land in the courtyard, but it is very tough. It took the shortcut world champion
Следующая
60
трасса.
hours just to hit it once.
Shout outs to Bismuth if you want to check out some of his videos that describe how to drive through walls in Mario Kart 64. Forrest and I collaborated with him on that, and Micro 500 on that as well. And I think we did another video on other Mario Kart 64 topic. Check out
pausing
his channel.
Is another thing.
Pausing breaks Mario Kart. That's how you can do Moo Farm shortcuts if you're willing to pause. Which in this particular community, the decision was made to not allow pausing.
And that's a great section there to avoid those bananas.
This is an interesting course because people can get a PR on this and not come in first on Bowser Castle. They could get an overall skips PR. I think we decided to allow that.
Yes, now you just have to finish in the top 4 on Bowser Castle because the CPU seemed to extra rubber band you here in your task that you made.
Yeah,
Bowser rubber bands you. It just this insane rubber banding.
Yeah, basically the first course was non-shortcut. There's a shortcut task only to jump on the bridge and kind of do these lap skips.
Это у нас
But until
замок
that point,
Баузера.
Bowser
Не
was
то чтобы
just
было бы
on
что-то
screen.
интересное в плане
Perfect
скипов.
driving. I couldn't shake them because they just drive through the walls themselves.
Весьма такая
They
прямолинейная
do
карта
mini
с
turbo, they
кучей
just drive,
различных
like,
ловушек.
faster than you and 90-degree turns with
And
no loop.
another thing on BC, which is where he's at now in the courtyard, sometimes you'll be racing and you will see a computer just fly in front of you because if they're not on screen, computers can actually just drive through whatever walls they want. So if there's a banana there,
Right.
or they might have been hit by another computer, they can slip through the wall and skip time. And that was a great BC. Phenomenal driving. Now we just have 1 cup to go. This is a surprisingly short.
У нас остался один
speedrun. We
кубок.
have the hardest cup now.
По-моему,
Special cup.
они делятся на
And
100,
this is
на
where we
50,
really
100 и
get into the
150.
nitty-gritty of
Well, and it's funny
consistency.
because the rules just happen.
И от этого будет
The
быстрее у
restart,
нас
hey, start on Mushroom Cup and
болиды
on
наши
special.
картинговые.
And, that leaves the hardest cup for last. Depending on your mushroom, could be hardest as well.
So we're seeing a lot of lag here because DK Jungle Parkway is such a huge course that the N64 can't actually process it that well. So it lags a lot. Now, if you're playing on the Wii Virtual Console, Wii U Virtual Console, or the Switch Online versions, you will not experience that lag at the beginning of the course, but it'll happen every single time that you play it, just because this course is
Вот
so
этот
big,
стейдж,
dynamic,
сама
it's
сама приставка
to be
Nintendo 64
inefficiently,
не очень
coded.
хорошо
I think it was added
считывает.
very late in the game because there was supposed to be Kamek was supposed to be the driver. They got the DK model from Rare. They added this course, I think, very late, and they load those trees. I think like Dead Hamster is
And he finishes inside the course here, so you can go in and out of the course for shortcut, but he finishes in, which saves you having to get respawned. That's a great DK Jungle Parkway.
great job. Yeah, that particular cut's been known about for a long time. But he did it well there, especially in the last lap. So that Dead Hamster, came up with a bunch of custom courses. He looked into this course. Hey, why does this thing load so slowly or run so slowly? He said that the textures were loaded like 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
I don't even. So clearly an error.
So now in Yoshi Valley, this is very RNG reliant. There is a backup you can go for.
Далее у нас
Oh, he's gonna YOLO
Йоши,
it.
Whoa.
And he missed a YOLO.
Йоши Вайли.
Yeah.
You can do this thing that we
Очень
refer to as YOLO
рандомная-
Valley, where you just completely go for it that we see in
Очень
time trials.
рандомная.
He's gonna try
трасса.
full triple shrooms, and he's not gonna go
И,
full,
по-моему,
he's
даже
actually gonna
Summoning
go
Soul,
right side
Summoning
side.
Soul,
When you pointed the
только
video
об этой
right here,
трассе
something back
делал
at me, figured it out,
историю
actually.
мирового
Go
рекорда.
over here and it messes with your the sections, and it's the same kind of idea with.
You jump off here and you get
И он
the
там
lap
показывает,
counts.
насколько
You're gonna get placed down backwards
жесткая
about
эта
halfway through the
трасса.
course.
И
Like this. We don't know why
в истории
you're
мировых
so backwards. You
рекордов
gotta watch out for incoming CPUs like that. But
только
I
эта
think this is the air pinch
эта
on,
трасса,
which
короче,
is
была
a lot
самой
harder on 50cc
последней
because you have speed, but it's allowed
в
for
плане
shortcut, in time
побития
trials,
мирового
so-
I
рекорда.
like to think the game puts you backwards because it's taking
Нет,
it
в плане
personally.
нахождения скипов.
What are you doing?
So now it looks like he's gonna go for it. He has a spin.
you
You
got
can
a
do this
star.
with a star. So let's see if he hits it. The big laps, and it looks
think
like
he
he's
got
gonna hit it. And he bounces to the left, so he's got it. Great lap 3 here. And he's just gonna get placed on the line, and the race is over, just like that.
Great job.
Облачко
So the way
сажает
that
прямо
works is
на
the wall
финишную
is just
прямую,
far enough away
и
from the
гонка
finish
сама
line
собой
so that when you
завершается.
hit the wall, the finish line's been deactivated, and if you hit the right part of it, it throws you backwards. So the game's like, oh shoot, you're like behind the line, and then it puts you down where you jump from, which is in front of the line. So it's like, all right, you were from behind the line, now you're in front of the line. The finish line wasn't activated when you went backward. You're good.
And it's just barely too, because he needs to be at least 1,000 units away, and that is barely over 1,000.
Just barely, yeah.
So now we have Banshee Boardwalk, and just this is good driving. There is a couple of shortcuts you can do if you're really feeling risky, if you want to do CPU jumps, which is where you launch off of a heavyweight computer for lap skips, but it's not viable to go for at all. Usually people will just do it for screwing around. So this is just completely non-shortcut. Very technical.
Сколько трасс еще осталось? По-моему, что-то около 3. Не, 2. По-моему, в каждой трассе по... в каждом кубке по 4 трассы. Если я вдруг ошибаюсь, поправьте.
Yes. And the other thing is that Bat House used to, we have found geometry for a beta version of this course. I think Dead Hamster found it.
Yes.
And there used to be an additional wall at the very end that was just like, you would slam into it and have to basically turn around.
And there used to be a roof as well, I believe.
There was
the old beta.
There still is a roof if you watch the credits. So maybe
interesting.
During the credits, after we get to those, you can see the roof. But yeah, I don't even know if you can see
Да,
it,
как раз успеешь на Super Mario 2.
But yeah, imagine having to like slam into a wall. I think you literally optimally might run into the wall if it were there, and you actually had to run the beta version of the course. So it used to be for a little while that there was a strategy where you actually wanted to finish in second or third here because you wanted a heavyweight character in front of you for Rainbow Road and you jump off that character. That's no longer
Да, привет, кто подходит.
because of some new, turn around and jump over the wall sort of strats we'll talk about.
Because that red shell skip on Rainbow Road, that was found by a completely random person, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, and we'll
great
talk
Banshee
about it.
Boardwalk,
Yeah,
great
good job.
driving,
Look,
very consistent
33,
laps.
33.
So
all right.
that just shows how good of a driver he really is.
All of them within 0.13 seconds. Sorry.
0.08.
0.08? I might have gotten it wrong. I don't know.
So now we're on to the final course already, Rainbow Road. This is someone completely
Да, 4
found this
трассы.
red shell skip.
Это была
He's
третья,
hoping
сейчас
for
будет
red
последняя
shells, so you
трасса.
need red shells to-
И по
There's a
традиции
green shell
последняя
back that was used
трасса
for a long
это
time,
Rainbow
but
Road.
here we are looking for red shells, so
Чуть ли не самая популярная
That
трасса.
RNG.
Red shells.
Ну, во-первых, она такая
Oh,
вся
not-
цветастая, а
not
во-вторых,
red shells.
казуально одна из самых сложных.
Somebody
There
was
was-
saying gold shroom.
There was actually a
Очень,
video made by
очень
RUSC,
какой-то
double-checking
невезучий
the
ран
value,
сейчас,
that he
потому
went
что
through 60+
на 8-м
rounds
месте
without
очень
getting
часто
a
подбирается
single red shell.
золотой
That's
гриб, а
something right?
золотой гриб это худший
We
предмет
really
для
need those
спидрана.
red shells. If he gets some greens at some point, he might go ahead and take those. I'm not sure. Well, he won't get greens
Until the computers pass him, yes.
We don't want to get to the point.
Oh, we got the start
Есть
cancel.
также
He's
и
got red
на
shells. Let's go.
том уровне, где
Alright.
было вытаскивали золотые грибочки дважды. Тут нужны красные панцири, чтобы сделать скип.
Ooh, missed one of those, but it's okay.
All right, we got 2 more here. The cool thing he found is that if you jump over the line, okay.
There's the second
Одним
one
он
as well.
промахнулся,
Go quiet here.
в третьем, надеюсь, не промахнется.
Clutch, nice.
All right,
Да, не
he's actually
промахнулся.
gonna reverse. He's going to press down and B to reverse back under the line after the finish line is deactivated. And then you'll see it say first. Oh, not I don't know what it'll say actually.
Once he gets placed down, it'll say it. It doesn't your position doesn't update until you get placed down. So now he's gonna try to get some green shells most likely because it is the end of the first lap. So we're looking for some greens,
Yeah, now that
hopefully.
he's at first, well,
So red shell can work, and he's got okay. This could work.
Да,
This
Куранил
could-
всего
so
одна
he can,
попытка, потому что
he
ему
can
выпал
position
только
himself
один
to-
красный панцирь.
to throw a red shell. As long as he hits this, you can go turn around and get another one. And he missed that one as well.
So
But
he's gonna go. He's probably gonna get most likely.
Ну, я
Red
промахнулся.
shell's only 5%
Жалко.
chance in first.
go past Yoshi, hit into him, and banana bunch.
Well, he might get red shells again because now he's in.
Another banana
third.
bunch. And there's
There
the
we go,
triple.
all
Okay,
right.
this is good here
But he's
for
gonna have to wait. He's not gonna pull him out. I don't think till he's in 8th.
because he doesn't want any CPUs to hit
Yeah,
by
they
him.
could
It's
run
very
into each other.
frustrating because the CPUs seem to always. And now he's got 6, so he's pretty much
All
in
right,
a
we
great
got it,
position
guys,
here.
we
О,
got it.
снова красный панцирь и еще
Oh, he's
красные
just
панцири, то
going
есть
for
по
it.
итогу на
All
F6.
right, all right.
Бабах!
So now he's gonna revert. As
И
soon
еще
as
один
you
раз
see
так
Peach on
сделать,
the
и
blue
это
right
будет
now, so as
время.
soon as it flicks over to the right side, that's when he's gonna reverse
Кстати,
back over the
коленочки
line.
уже
He's gonna get
страдают
placed, and he's gonna
у
try
раннера.
one last time.
All right, he's got 3 tries.
Да,
I think he-
довольно
he managed to hit all
непростой
3 that
скип.
time.
So he's
We
got
got
that.
it,
He
guys.
made
We
it
got
over. So
Потому что мы не видим, как
All right, it's
летит
gonna be- it's going to be
красный
fine when
панцирь.
he crosses the line.
Ну, потому что мы поворачиваем,
So he's
как бы,
gonna
а камера у
reverse
нас
again, and he's
направлена
gonna get placed
впереди
on
карты.
the or maybe slightly before, depends on when he exited. And he's gonna get placed right before. And time.
Time. All right,
Great run.
great.
Great run.
job.
Showing off all these shortcuts.
Yeah, and So Kazan primarily speaks Japanese. He's been rehearsing in English. A couple of words he wants to say. So Kazan would like to say a few words.
Speech.
Go ahead. Yep.
I am very happy to participate in such a wonderful event for the first time. This GDQ is my first time attending an in-person speedrun event. I have participated remotely in Japan before, but I ever
Ранее японский, но он немного знает английский, поэтому он говорит слова благодарности, что рад приехать на ГДК, рад всех видеть.
Will be unforgettable memory for me. I would like to thank the GDQ, organizer, operator, staff as well as my commentator, Bezato, who really
Ну,
united
по сути,
for
да.
the first time in 4.5 years. Brody and Kanana, who is a viewer of the my stream. I believe all these years of seriously aiming to get a world record in Mario Kart 64 has led me to run at this event today. That's all. Thanks.
Согласимся. Хороший ран,
The credits roll.
хороший марафон.
All right, go ahead and play the credits.
Я примерно так же на английском разговариваю.
Play the
Yeah,
credits.
so we can maybe see the Banshee Boardwalk.
So these credits are very having a like emotional feel to them. So we have to go through this cutscene here of the trophy presentation, but then afterwards we're gonna go right to the credits.
It's actually the best music in the game, which
Absolutely.
I will say is not saying much in my opinion, but personally, but having heard it maybe too many times. But the credit music is really good.
Makes you feel very accomplished.
Yeah, and just to build on Kazan, Kana has been translating for him here today, and she is a viewer of his Twitch channel and met him for the first time this morning, and has been extremely helpful and friendly. It's great to meet her, and great to watch you on Twitch, Kazan, and just a pleasure to see your progression over the last few years. As he mentioned, he's been playing for a few years. I met him early on in that. He came to an event at my parents' house in Virginia. And it's great to see him there, and then the progression since this to be world champion at some point this year. Not currently, but I have no doubt he's working his way back to it.
He's put over, I believe he just hit around, last time I checked was about 60,000 attempts, but it's much more than that. So he gets first place, and now we're gonna cue the credits, so we're just gonna be quiet and enjoy it.
Okay, all right, so I don't think we're gonna be able to watch the whole credits, but these are great credits, so I definitely highly recommend it, and keep an eye out for maybe if you can, the Bat House and the Banshee Boardwalk. So, okay.
So that was a great run. Thanks to Kazuya. Give it up for Kazuya, guys.
Yeah.
Да, поаплодируем рану.
Japan flew out here just so we could play some Mario Kart for you guys. He was very excited to come here. He's been practicing for years. I want to thank Weatherton, of course, for being a great.
Почему нет ссылки на русский канал в канале? Так получилось.
Great event that everyone's doing here, and a great run by Kazuya.
Yeah, great meeting you, Brody, and the rest of the folks here.
К сожалению.
These events are always so well managed. It's great to be a part of them. And then all the money being raised for Prevent Cancer Foundation, it's a great cause. It's a great impact, and just a pleasure to be a part of it.
So interesting things about these credits is there is some shots that you will not see anywhere else in the game. It's like Warrior Stadium getting that bird's eye view. You won't see that anywhere else in the game. There's a lot of these places in the credits to go, and it's just a very emotional for this. The bird's eye view of Royal Raceway is a great shot of everything, but just gives you that sense of accomplishment, like, yes, it's over, you beat the Special Cup. This has the
Вообще,
best credits music.
если вы любите прям очень сильно марафоны, по-моему, летом
Absolutely.
и точно перед Новым годом, перед Рождеством даже католическим, где-то так вот 20 числах декабря проводится РТА in Japan. Это японский спидран-марафон.
So you can't drive straight through, but also you don't get run over by the egg.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that wraps it up for Mario Kart 64. Give it up one more time.
Ну, там довольно специфичный марафон, ибо и там в основном японские игры. Но если вы любитель экзотики,